It is a rainy, well, not rainy, but it's a dreary day. Maybe that's the better word for it. A dreary day here in Eagle, Idaho. But, as I sit and watch the news, a dreary day to me here in Idaho is nothing compared to what I see going on in a great part of the country. But we actually have a wind advisory for today. Winds are going to get up to, I don't know, 25 to 35 miles an hour. But it's a rather quiet Sunday morning, and as I typically do on most mornings, I find myself going out and kind of just checking the perimeter, if you will. I think there was a name for that when I was in the military. But anyway, I'm looking here. This whole area here, I'm not quite sure. Well, I have some ideas as to what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in I found plans for a beautiful planter with a privacy fence or a trellis. It's going to be 8 feet, so it's going to go from about there over to about there. And it'll grow up, and I'm probably going to do cut flowers and stuff in that bed right there. And then maybe over here and maybe over here put in a couple trees, which will give me a nice privacy. That's what the neighbors are doing right here. If you look closely across the over the fence, you'll see that they put in these trees right here that are going to grow. They're actually growing pretty quickly. I don't know, evergreens or something like that. But those trees are growing up. And then down here, I'm getting the garden all ready. This is these roses. I'm really curious about these roses. These roses hopefully are going to grow up over the roof. These climbing roses, and I just put them in last year. And last year they were only about yay tall, and they did really, really well in this spot. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with them right now. Like, they still have a lot of leaves. This kind of was the winter that wasn't. And there I've got some rosemary. Then I've got these flowers. I think these flowers are going to come back. These flowers are perennials. And I forget the name, but there's some coming up here, right now. So those flowers are coming up. This more or less is my herb garden. Right here. Ooh, it's brisk. It's chilly out here. And then I've got my beds. Last year I had these 5-gallon buckets all along the perimeter. I had 40 tomato plants. I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to scale back a little. Well, maybe not scale back, but I'm going to do a little bit of a different strategy. Look at my garlic coming up. The soil temperature right now is at about 42, but you can see I planted this garlic I think it was October, and I'm hoping that it does well. And then I came out last week and I planted all types of stuff in here. I planted carrots. I've got just a bunch of stuff that's planted, and I'm patiently waiting for it to come up, and we will see, as the saying goes. Over here I had some clematis that's I think it was Lady Di or Princess Di clematis, and it was just prolific. It would just cover this whole back thing, but I thought, no, I'm going to use this space for better things like cantaloupe and what have you. But you see here in my garden, or I've got in my rear bed, I've got my potatoes. These are agata potatoes I planted in those trenches. We'll see how those do. I don't know. And then all along here I've got all types of stuff. I've got radishes, I've got peas, I've got lettuce, I've got some parsnips growing over here. Here I've got some bok choy. None of it's coming up yet, but in due time, I'm pretty sure it will. And here I planted some red potatoes yesterday, so we'll see how those all come up. But I think it's going to be a beautiful garden. Whether I get as many blue ribbons this year as I did last year in the state fair, we will see. And these I put telephone. I think they're telephone pole peas. So these that's 6 feet. And I planted peas all along the perimeter there, so those should come up. And then over here I planted asparagus. I got asparagus growing right there. Once I start to see that start coming up, that's a perennial. And hopefully I'll have asparagus every year. And then I put some carrots in the front and back of that little trench there, and I have some peas that are going to come up there. But as far as the plans for this year, I'm going to build another one of these beds. You see that bed right there? I'm going to build another one of those beds and put it right here. So I'll have 2 of these beds side by side. And then the big thing that I'm thinking of doing is this whole area right here. I'm going to get a sod cutter, remove the sod, bring in some soil, till it in and amend it. And I'm going to put in several rows of berries, if not even grapes, and have my own little vineyard going right here. I was going to put in a greenhouse, but no, I don't think a greenhouse is what I need. I could always potentially, if I really wanted to dial this in, put a greenhouse right over here later on, but we'll see how that goes. And then over here, this whole area here, I'm going to put in a nice flagstone patio. So right from this corner out to here is going to be a beautiful black flagstone patio, and I'll build some planters along the perimeter of that, perhaps. And I think that'll make for a nice garden. But anyway, and now on to the my favorite part of the day, my jacuzzi. Oh boy, folks, this is probably one of the better things that I've bought. Look at that. Oh yeah, look how clean that water is. Turn on the jets. There you go. All right. So anyway, that's kind of the update from Eagle, Idaho. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Have a great day.